been a while. Welcome back to Sunday School. Welcome to Simply Loved. This series is going to be about learning God's love through the intentional growing of your faith in relationship with Jesus. Today we're going to dive into Genesis 1, which is all about how God created the world. So before we dive into this story today, we're going to worship and sing and dance just to celebrate God's greatness. And before we start that, I need you to do just a couple things. First thing, gotta like the video. Second thing, gotta share it on all of your social medias. And the third thing is, leave a comment. Tell me how excited you are that Sunday School is back. Now it's time to get moving and have a little fun. Let's start with this song called Let's Get a Little Crazy.
Come on, clap your hands. Here we go. That's it. Yeah, we're all in this together and we're having fun. We're here to spread the love of God to everyone. Gonna get a little crazy, yeah, a little wild. Here we go now, come give it a try. Move it to the left now. Move it to the right. Find someone you don't know. Give them a high five. Stomp your feet louder. Yeah, you guys are doing awesome. Wave your hands up high. Come on. Find somebody else now and give them a high five. Let's go. Oh, 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 here to spread the love of God to everyone. Gonna get a little crazy, yeah, a little wild. Here we go now, come give it a try. Move it to the left now. Move it to the left now. Move it to the right. Move it to the right. Find someone you don't know and give them a high five. Come on, you guys are moving great. Stomp your feet louder. Stomp your feet. Wave your hands up high. Come on, wave them up. Find somebody else now. Give them a high five. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Come on, one more time. Move it to the left now. Move it to the right. Find someone you don't know and give them a high five. Oh, stomp your feet louder. Wave your hands up high. Wave your hands up high. Find somebody else now and give them a high five. Oh, 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 oh,
We're going to have a blast discovering that God always loves us. That's actually our Bible point for today. So every time you hear me say, God always loves us, I want you to respond in a special way. Do what I do. You're going to go, wow, God. So you're going to put both hands on the side of your face and say, wow, God. In your most surprised expression. Still, one more time. So, God always loves us. Wow, God. There you go. So God always loves us. Wow, God. So let's meet our memory buddy today. If you can see him behind me. Our memory buddy's name is Savannah. Savannah is a giraffe. Now, how much do you know about giraffes? Let's find out in this or that challenge. You're going to hear 2 fun facts about giraffes, and it's up to you to decide which one is true. This fact or that. So your question is a baby giraffe called a kid or a calf? If you believe it's called a calf, I want you to moo like a cow. Yes, it's okay. If you believe it's called a kid, I want you to cry like a human baby. All right. You have your answer? All right, let's drum roll it out. It's a calf. How many of you got it right? Let me know in the comments below how many of you got it right. But let's watch our Bible Memory Buddy video to meet our friend, Savannah.
Hey there, friends. Glad I spotted you down there. I'm Savannah. And guess where I live? On the savannah. You'll find me and my family on the open plains throughout a few countries on the continent of Africa. We giraffes like to hang out among the trees on the savannah. Trees are my go-to hide-and-seek spot. Get it? Spot? Can't find me? You're getting closer. Here I am. Young giraffes are called calves, but they don't moo like those other calves. We love leaves. They're our favorite snack. And since giraffes are the tallest animals on the planet, it's a breeze to just reach up and grab a bite. So good. My long neck reminds me of God's love. It keeps going and going. In the Bible, book of Ephesians, chapter 3, verse 18, it says, "And may you have the power to understand, as all God's people should, how wide, how long, how high, and how deep His love is." God always loves us. You don't have to be super tall like me to see His love for you. God created the world for us to live in. We can read about it in the first book of the Bible called Genesis. Every single detail in our world is designed by God and created for us to enjoy. The sky, the water, the plants, and animals like me. God created the world and said it was good. So, take a look around you. You can see God's love in the sky. You can hear God's love for you when birds sing in the trees outside. And you can even taste God's love when you eat your favorite food. And you can share God's love too. When you see someone who's sad, your kindness shows God's love. Try to capture God's beautiful love and share it with someone today. It's a great way to spot a smile. God always loves us.
So this right here is God's true story of love. It's one big book filled with a bunch of little books. And our Bible memory verse today comes from one of those books. It's Ephesians 3:18, and we're going to say this verse together. I'm going to say a line, and do the action, and you're going to repeat after me, okay? It says this: "And may you have the power to understand, as all God's people should, how wide, how long, how high, how deep God's love is." God always loves us. Wow, God. And He's got the whole world in His hands. Speaking of that, let's play that music video called "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands."
He's got the little bitty baby in his hands. He's got the little nobody here. In his hands, he's got the whole world in his hands.
All right, now let's explore a story from the Bible. But instead of just listening to it, you're going to actually help me tell this very important part. So in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, including lions and animals. They're both pretty cool. We could read about them, We can read about them and other things God made in the first book of the Bible called Genesis. Genesis actually means beginning. It's the beginning of God's story of love for us. So, when the world began, because God made it, let's take an imaginary field trip and explore the world God made. I'm going to be your tour guide. So first, let's imagine we're going to go outside, so grab your jackets, so put on your jackets, let's zip them up. Let's read what God made first. Genesis 1:1-5 says this. When God began to create the heaven and the earth was without shape or form. It was dark over the deep sea, and God's wind swept over the waters. God said, "Let there be light," and so light appeared. God saw how good light was, and God separated the light from darkness. God named the light day and the darkness night. So God began separating light from dark. Then God spoke to the sky. First stop on our imaginary field trip, the sky. Let's pretend we're soaring through the sky. So hold your arms out like wings and soar, veer from side to side. Look at all the clouds that are nearby. I see one that looks like a dog. There's one that looks like a fish. There's one that looks like Grandma. Okay. Look at all those flights. That was quite a flight. I don't know about you. I'm out of breath. Let's take some few deep breaths in. Taking some oxygen. So take some deep breaths. All right, I think we're good. As your tour guide, it's my job to share some fun facts with you. Did you know that air is a mixture of a lot of nitrogen, oxygen, and some other gases? And God gives us just the right amount of everything we need to live. That's because God always loves us. Wow, God. Time for a new imaginary destination. We're off to the beach. Don't forget your sunscreen. Gotta lather up your sun. Put your sunscreen on. Gotta get the nose, get the forehead, get the cheeks. Okay, I think we're good. Let's imagine we're sitting on the beach and listening to the ocean waves. Oh, I have a video to record. Let's read this, Genesis 1:9-10. Which says, God said, "Let the waters under the sky come together in one place so the dry land can appear." And that's what happened. God named the dry land earth, and he named the gathered waters the seas. And God saw how good it was. On the third day of creation, God separated the land and the water. And with land comes gravity. Gravity keeps us from floating off into space. Let's do some gravity experiments. I want everybody to spread out, jump up, and try to stay off the ground. So, that didn't work. That didn't work either. Huh. What goes up must come down, then. Actually, God likes order, and he's thought of everything we need, like gravity. So enjoy gravity's force as you sit back down and hear what God created next. Genesis 1:11-12 says, God said, "Let the earth grow plant life, plants yielding seeds and fruit tree bearing fruit with seeds inside of it, each according to its kind throughout the earth." And that's what happened. The earth produced plant life, plants yielding seeds, each according to its kind, and trees bearing fruit with seeds inside of it, each according to its kind. God saw how good it was. So God always loves us. Wow, God. So now let's imagine we're in the garden. Everybody up. Don't step on the tomato plants. And go ahead and pull a few weeds while we're at it. So we're going to grab fruit. Here's a good old orange. Here's a banana. Oh, there's a weed. Whew, got that weed. So God made plants that produce fruits and vegetables for us to eat. Did you know that eating plants that have vitamin A, like carrots, is good for your eyes? And eating oranges or broccoli keeps your teeth and gums healthy? Living without teeth or eyes is difficult. I mean, God always loves us. You don't understand what I'm saying? Well, God always loves us. Wow, God. And He gives us what we need to live. On the next stop of our imaginary field trip, let's go to outer space. Strap on your spacesuits. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, and we're here. Genesis 1. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh, no, I'm right. Genesis 1, 14 through 19 tells us that God made the moon, the stars, and the sun. Did you know that the moon's gravity affects Earth? Causes ocean tides. God always loves us. Wow, God. He created scientific forces needed to survive, needed for us to survive. And it's time for the last stop on this field trip through God's creation. Onto the zoo. That's right. Genesis 1:25 says, God made every kind of wildlife, every kind of livestock, and every kind of creature that crawls on the ground, and God saw how good it was. So God made fish and birds and animals to live in the world that He created. So in the comments down below, shout out a kind of fish. Okay, now a kind of bird. Okay, now a kind of bug. God made everything we need to survive and enjoy this life on earth. And God said it was good. Creation shows us His love, and God always loves us. Wow, God. We see God's love everywhere. God gives us everything we need to live, including good friends to talk to. I am so glad our Creator made our world and gives us what we need to live. Our God always loves us. Wow, God. But the Bible does say, though, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And you want to hear something cool? Jesus was there. God later showed His love by sending Jesus to our world to conquer sin and to be our friend. So I'd like to read you something about our friend Jesus as we close. So as you listen, give yourself a little space so that no one's right next to you. Lie back, close your eyes, and imagine you're looking up at the stars. Keep quietly stargazing as I read this. It's an amazing world you live in, and nobody knows that better than Jesus. Why? Because from the very beginning of the beginning, He helped create it. He knows what you need to feel safe and loved in this life. Those moments you feel warm and wrapped up in a hug, that's Him letting you know you're loved. Those moments when your stomach does flip-flops or you're lonely or afraid about what's coming next, He's with you then too. He's next to you, slipping His hand into yours. There's nothing the two of you can't tackle together. Jesus is your friend, and He's with you through thick and thin. No matter what you're going through, He gives you what you need most to live, the gift of Himself. And that's it. Again, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends and families, comment down something below that you've learned today, and I'll see you next week. And remember, it's simple. Jesus loves you.